one end of the ground on Stephen James, and they're pushing and shoving and feeling so pretty hot already. And the umpire's watching umpire Ross Castle, no, Shane McDonald, in fact, on screen.
Okay, away we go. The start of the season then for both these sides. The start of a piece of history for the West Coast Eagles as Lee wins the first tap away. A chance for Piet to knock it on towards half forward. Coming through strongly. The hand pass comes across from Zakarsky. Gathered there with Egan's hand pass. Across in turn looking for support. Burrowing in for Western Australia out there is Narkle. Could have almost got the free kick. Was he pushed in the back? Yes, he was. And he'll get the free kick in the back pocket. Phil Narkle for the West Coast Eagles. Before what is a very partisan home crowd. He plays on by hand to Paul Pios at centre half back. Pios kicking towards centre field. Too much carry on the kick. Maurice Rioli, superb mark, and down he went. Crashing into him was Don Holmes, and it's on already.
Yes, sir. We watch it going on replay, and that was Holmes. It was quite a fair piece of football, but it's really shaken Rioli up. No doubt about that one. And John Anea, Mark Eustace on screen at the moment. Very solid player, John Anea, and former Richmond and Collingwood, so he'd be out to do well.
Well, he decides to play on. He gives it across to Peter Wilson, and a nice kick towards this Checo. Couldn't take the mark. It's off the tops of his fingertips. It's taken through by Mark Zanotti for the first score of the game. Of course, that's to Richmond and a behind. But that was a courageous piece of play back there by Maurice Rioli. There's the kick coming out to Andrew McNeish, who's on the half back line at the moment. He brings it towards Narkle, who charges towards the wing. He dives on top of the ball. In they go after it, close to the boundary. I could have been holding the man there. Now the umpire calls play on, and that was good. Davidson, a short kick towards centre wing.
Beautiful pass.
He found his teammate there too in Laidley towards half forward. But on that half forward line, and here's a chance for Pios. Oh, it's an ordinary looking kick up towards the centre half forward area as the Eagles bring it back to Davidson. There's Johnny Anea. He was hotly pressed there. Back towards Glendinning. Cleverly done, Ross Glendinning. Didn't attempt to grab it and quickly knocked it on, picked it up and brought it up. You could see the strength of the breeze there as Malaxos caught one in the back. Play on, said the umpire. That's on the half-forward line. Is going in after it is Chris Burton. He's tackled magnificently. That was a top tackle. Over it comes to Laurie Keane. On the left foot, brings it towards the goals. Was it touched? No, it's a goal to the West Coast Eagles. A good goal to the big ruckman, Laurie Keane.
Yes, a beautiful goal to Keane. Put it onto the left foot. I wouldn't have been a bit surprised if the umpire had pulled a free kick there to Cowie as on replay. Burton. And there's a beautiful tackle is called by Peter. Malaxos coming in. Keane onto the left foot. And as it swings back, it could have been well in the back there. And I wouldn't have been a little bit surprised at all to find a free kick going the way of Cowie.
Approaching 3 minutes then in the first term. West Coast lead by 5 points. Bounce in the centre. Ishenko wins it down. It's sharked by Rioli, who boots it towards half forward. Zanotti does well fisting away. A chance for Waitman. It spills across to Eustace. He drives it down towards full forward. Miles from behind fisting away. The ball runs free. Chance for Lamb. He's got it out towards half back. Gets the hand pass to Brennan. Brennan goes looking for Davidson. Crashing through down there was Palm. Missed Davidson and the ball. Waitman swoops on the loose ball now. Taken high. No free kick. Going in solidly Piet. Bodies coming from all directions. Piet over the ball. Overruns it. Matera can't control it. Getting into the back of Matera shortly. The Richmond player down there had a lot of trouble with Matera. He was around his legs as Matera takes the free kick, takes the advantage too, and swings it across the ground. Narkle can't control it. Zakarsky gets the hand pass out wide. This is Bower, or rather Bauer. Bauer goes down towards full forward. Getting back there is Glendinning. Couldn't take the mark. He's over the ball. He forces it behind.
Well, great start so far. Both sides really throwing themselves in, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Davidson comes off, in fact, after copping one from Palm, but back with play.
Paul Pios, this is, taking that mark from the kick in towards centre wing. Oh, good mark over the top. That looked like Neil Peart, but he got into the back of his opponent. His teammate, I should say, is still lying on the ground.
Brendan Bauer, I think it is.
Yeah, Brendan Bauer on the ground. Neil Peart, left footer, played with 2 other VFL clubs, and I mean Collingwood and Footscray, down to the ground. Here's a chance for Michael Mitchell. Oh, he tried to do a little bit too much then, and it's grabbed by big Alex Eschenko. A wild hand pass comes back towards, was that Renstead? I think it was. Eventually the hand pass from Johnny Anea comes to Lamb. Lamb hooks it back towards half forward. A courageous attempt to mark, but Rioli's in there, was grabbed by the foot, and the umpire Ross Castle right onto that one, and Maurice Rioli will take this kick almost dead centre of the ground.
Rioli then to send the Tigers forward, driving towards half forward. The target down there is Clark. In from the side, the big leap from Piet. No mark was taken. Zakaski behind the pack. He's 25 metres out, Zakaski. And what's he done with it? He's put it through for a goal. Richmond get there first, and they lead by 2 points.
It's another good piece of football there as Zakaski was able to steady, line the ball up, and Peter Zakaski on replay now. As the loose ball comes, Zakaski chased by Zanotti. Zanotti, I think, was trying to dive and trip him, but just couldn't quite make it. And one goal goes on the board. First goal to Richmond, so they lead by 2 points.
Back in the centre, wait for the bounce to restart play. 5.5 minutes gone. Nishenko is out-rucked this time by Lee, crashing his way through Rioli, but it's going to be a West Coast free kick. It'll be taken by Johnny down there.
That goal that the West Coast Eagles scored into the breeze is probably worth 2 goals today almost, because it was it's going to be very difficult to score goals up that end of the ground, as we see Trevor Poole taking that mark at centre half back. He was a very, very good player last year. He brings it towards the wing, and the mark has been taken by Palm. Now he wants to play on. He chips it across to the wing because he's got a loose man there. Brilliantly done, Chris Burton, coming down from the back line. Now he goes for the long kick. Glendinning in front of the pack. Oh, he's hipped out of it. In they go after it. It's right in front of the Richmond goal. The knock on now. There was a trip there to Richmond. He was definitely grabbed by the foot. The umpire, great view of that. Ross Glendinning not happy. And it will be a free kick to Richmond from, well, that's only 30 metres out, almost directly in front. That's Simon Clark. Last year for Richmond, he wore number 42. This year, the number change has given him a lower number, and that's 18. Now, Clark will probably do a bit of ruck work during the day to help out Mark Lee. He's, as I said, about 30 metres out, directly in front. This should be the second goal of the game coming up to Richmond. He's hooked it slightly, and the goal umpire says 1 point. So a bad miss by Simon Clark.
Well, let's not forget at this stage that the Eagles are kicking into the breeze, and as such they've a very unusual lineup up forward.
Glendinning with the ball, driving them around the outer side. Rioli goes back. Bounce favoured Wenstead. He kicks it towards centre field. Coming to meet it is Barrich. Up he goes. Takes the uncontested mark. Wants to play on. Feeds the ball out wide now. And around they go. The Eagles towards right half forward through the Pios kick. And drifting across the face of the ground there, McNish takes the mark on his chest. Inside 50 metres. Andrew McNish goes short yet again down towards the pocket. And Laidley takes the mark.
Poor checking, Bob.
Yes, very poor. And it's amazing that you can see, particularly with them kicking into the breeze, how we could find 4 West Coast Eagles all in turn, completely unchecked. Poor play by Richmond.
Here's Laidley from 25 metres out. The Eagles trail by 3 points. It's now 2 as he misses to the near side. Approaching 8 minutes in the first term. The crowd's still building, so they're getting into the ground now, probably up around 25,000. The Eagles congested, or rather Richmond congested at centre half back, and then spread across the ground as Lee knocks it on towards the half forward line for the Tigers. Brilliantly gathered there by Mitchell. The hand pass comes across quickly to Waitman. That's a very quick transference of play by the Tigers. Waitman goes on goal, and he misses behind at one end, and in the space of about 10 seconds a quick reply in like kind at the other.
Well, we're getting towards the 10-minute mark of this first quarter, and the Eagles doing well so far. 1 goal 4 to 1 goal 1. 3 points the difference in favour of Richmond, but as we said, they're kicking with the breeze. Now there's Brendan Bauer heading for the boundary line with the hand pass, and I think the Eagles would be quite happy to see the ball bottled out over on that flank. In fact, it's 8 minutes and 50 seconds gone in this first quarter. There's Bauer again on the left foot. He centres the ball beautifully, but a nice mark has been taken in defence for the Eagles, and that is by Michael Brennan. He brings it across towards Paul Pios. He and Murray Redstead, the 2 look-alikes, so I think they're going to cause problems for commentators during the year. Up towards centre wing, Wilson was the flyer, couldn't take it. Now there's McNish. A hand pass to Steve Malaxos, so he was tripped up, wasn't he? No, said the umpire. Chris Burton has got it on half-back flank, hooks it back. Phil Narkle couldn't take the mark. There's Bauer. Oh, clever hand pass to Trevor Poole. Oh, he's flattened as he went in after that one. It's knocked onto Zakaski. He throws the ball away. Oh, big Schenko gets it further afield is grabbed by Lee. Here's a chance for Rioli. He straightens up into the open goal. Morris Rioli, a beautiful kick, a low drop punt for the second goal of the game to Richmond. 2 goals for. They move on to a total of 16, leading the Eagles 1-1-7.
Well, a very physical game at the moment as Mark Lee on replay, a beautiful hand pass, and Morris Rioli, a dangerous player, obviously still a bit shaken because he's on the forward line now, although he may be changing as a ruck rover rather than lining up in the centre.
16 plays 7, just over 10 minutes gone in the opening term. Bounce back in centre field. Shenko and Lee, as they've done from the outset. Lee does the roving, gets the hand pass out wide. This is Burton on the run, over the top looking for Palm. Pursuing him is Barrage. Palm close to the boundary line, goes again over the head of Egan though. Now a chance for Anea. Anea on his own half back line, swings it back looking for support in the centre square. Holmes needs to come through with dash and does it brilliantly for the Eagles. Gets the hand pass across towards Barrage. He needs a quick kick. Brilliant tackle by Mitchell. He spins out of it though, gets to one knee, then in turn to his feet, kicks it down towards half forward, and a great running mark. A defensive mark is taken by Cowie, going back with the flight of the ball. He's at right half back, thinks about the hand pass, takes the longer lead, gives the ball across to support. Feigning the hand pass is Wilson. He's in trouble now. Burton on the assist at centre half back. He thumps the ball out towards Cowie. Cowie tries to knock it on, couldn't do much with it. Swooping on the loose ball is Narkle. He goes down towards the pocket. In pursuit back there is Poole. Poole paddles it towards the boundary line. He's content to run it out of bounds and will have a throw in.
Not good play at all by Richmond there. They had the opportunity to just drive the ball long and direct with this breeze, and they fiddled around with it. Nearly cost a goal.
Forward pocket. Cowie doing the ruck work. It's grabbed by Andrew McNeish. He has a pot shot. Did it? It might have bounced through. Yes! A great goal. A handy one into the breeze by Andrew McNeish. And that's the second goal of the game to the West Coast Eagles. They move on to 2 goals, 1-13. Trailing Richmond now by only 3 points. They are on 2-4-16.
And that's not the Eagles. But on replay now, the punch coming from Cowie, straight to McNeish, and again loose checking in defence.
Must have gone pretty close to brushing the post. A couple of Richmond players pointing in that direction. All to no avail as Ashenko wins it out of the centre this time. Chance for Anea. Good hand pass to Barrett. He's tackled by Palm. Slung off the ball, holding the ball, the decision. The quick and the dead out there. And David Palm, no stranger to this neck of the woods, played for West Perth in the WAFL. Kicks it down towards half forward. Not a particularly good kick. And the mark is taken in front down there by Clark. Tumbling mark on the 50-metre line. This will test him, but bear in mind he's got the easterly breeze at his back. 3 points the difference. Richmond lead. And Clark playing at centre half forward. Goes long and direct. He puts it through. The third goal is on the board for the Tigers. They lead 3-4 to 2-1.
Simon Clark to taking that mark, and well, with Michael Roach out of the side, he's virtually playing as the full forward. He's sharing the work down there with Stephen James. You could say James was full forward and Clark in the forward pocket, but they're rotating and alternating across with each other.
I'm sure that Mark Lee, when he has a spell, will go and interchange Bob with Simon Clark.
I would imagine so, Pete.
2-1 West Coast to Richmond 3-4. It's been goal for goal so far. Let's see if the West Coast Eagles can get it up there. It's brought back towards the centre wing area. That's grabbed by Palmer again. A low shooter down towards half forward, but waiting there. Oh, he was off.
I think he was too.
He was off Jeff Miles, and the umpire gave him the benefit. Now he calls play on as Miles, a low trajectory drop punt. Looking for Matera, who is a little goer. Taken away by Phil Egan, beautifully backed up there by Trevor Poole. A long breaking kick, but Glendinning with superior judgment to Neil Peart on that occasion ducks back to take the mark. Now Glendinning, we know what he can do with a football as he brings it towards the wing. Oh, there was judgment again, this time by Poole. Copped it across the ear, but it was out of bounds when he copped it, so the boundary umpire will throw it in. He's still nursing that sore ear. Right in front of our commentary position here on half forward flank for Richmond, Lee against Ischenko, and this is a line ball, said the umpire, so he'll come in and bounce it. Still on that half forward flank area. Conditions almost perfect out there except for that breeze, but I'm sure it has died down slightly. There is Egan, actually threw that one away. It's grabbed there by Pios, a beautiful left foot kick towards the half forward line. What a good mark that was by Bennett. A top mark to Darren Bennett at half-forward flank.
From left half-forward, he kicks for a more central location. Down there is big Laurie Keane, got fingertips to it, couldn't hang on. A chance for Thompson now for Richmond. He's claimed from behind, held too long, I thought. No free kick. He goes back after the ball. Bodies crashing in there. Waitman tries to emerge. He goes to ground. Eventually, Thompson gets it. Gets the hand pass out to Palm, who's been a live wire so far. Gets it in turn to Mitchell. Back it comes to Palm. Palm running towards right half-forward. Not a good kick. Down towards full forward. Miles got his fingertips to it, and through it goes for a behind.
Yes, well, Miles, it was an awkward one, that. It was spinning the wrong way as Tony Jewell. And very pensive looking Tony Jewell there.
Miles to the grandstand side, in best position to mark is Pios. It's no contest as he takes the ball at left half back. Runners moving down the ground. He loses his boot as he kicks it down to Narkle. They may have swapped wings already, because across the centre line, Richmond have been doing very well. Bauer on one side, Rioli in the middle, and Palm on this side of the ground. So Narkle now grandstand side with the ball, kicking towards half forward. The target down there is Bennett. From behind, trying to fist it away was Ryan. It runs free. Overrunning the ball is Laidley. Coming through down there is Eustace. Eustace the high kick back towards centre wing. Pios, brilliant attempt to mark. He's paid the free kick in any case.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how far he can kick it without his boot on, because that's the right boot. Oh, gee, kicked it pretty well too. Up towards half-forward. Mark Lee sets himself off. Fisted on beautifully by Bennett. Malaxos gets it back to Matera. Off he goes. There's been some loose checking. Here's a bounce. Little Wally Matera. In he comes. Straightens up, and what's he done with it? Let's watch the goal umpire. It's a goal. A beautiful piece of team play by the West Coast Eagles.
As you called it, Pete, a delighted crowd on the screen, and there's no doubt in anybody's mind that that goal belonged to Bennett as he tapped the ball back, didn't try to mark it, and the very loose checking, nobody running at Matera. The only chance of putting Matera off is to run at him and make him kick the ball high or wide, and that didn't happen. So an excellent goal, but excellent play by Bennett.
3-5 plays 3-1, so they're doing it well, the West Coast Eagles. As we said before, they're kicking into the breeze. There's Pios again without his boot. Well played, Paul Pios. Onto the left foot he goes, under hot pressure too by Egan. Even at this early stage, as we see bringing the ball down, Murray Renstead, there's a lot of loose checking by Richmond at the moment, and the Eagles are doing it well. Oh, beautiful football there on that occasion was by Laidley. The kick comes up to Keane. He ducked the head. He didn't really hold it, but I think the umpire has paid it. I don't know, Bob, whether he really held that ball or whether he's paid the free kick.
Well, I'm sure with a mark that he's paid, and in situations like this it comes back to interpretation, and well, it didn't look to be held for a long time, but nonetheless, right from the 25-metre line, he won't be kicking from there. He'll be kicking from about 35 or 40 metres. Touch right on the line.
An indication of the breeze that really held up from Laurie Keane.
Well, it's a good quarter, and if that's the indication of how strong that breeze is, Dennis, it's been a top quarter so far by the Eagles.
Ball on the outer side. Barrage soccers it away from Lee out there. Barrage gathers the ball at right half forward, pulls it around the corner. He was out of bounds, in fact, so we'll have a boundary throw in at right half forward for the Eagles, who trail by 3 points. A tick over 18 minutes gone, opening term. Richmond won the toss. They elected to kick with the breeze down towards the western end of the ground. There's Alex Oshenko battling with Lee. Oshenko wins it wide of the pack, but it's sharked by Rioli. He goes over the top of the hand pass. Renstead is out there. Battling with him is Palm, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if they've switched wingers to go with the West Coast Eagles. In fact, that's what they've done. Palm is now playing on the outer side of the ground as he boots in towards centre half forward. In front is Piatt from behind. A big leap down there by Glendinning. It's jarred free. Eustace, a second chance. He kicks it down towards full forward. Out comes Clark. Clark, who started the game at centre half forward, was carried forward in a tackle, I thought. No free kick to Richmond. It's going to be a bounce. He's gone back to full forward at the moment. James operating out of a pocket.
Well, he didn't really have much opportunity to get rid of that. I thought that was a good umpiring decision. As we see the ball at half back, it's brought by Pios. Well, it's taken by the big fella, the general Mark Lee. Oh, beautiful looking kick. James went right underneath that. So did Miles, and it beat both players over the line and out of bounds. It's in that forward pocket for Richmond. They could badly do with a couple of quick goals. The interchange bench, Michael Pickering and Dean Notting. I'm sure that if they don't fire up forward, Pickering will be on quick smart. There's a flying shot at the goals by Stephen James, and he's put it through for a point. But they need goals kicking with this strong breeze. We see Stephen James on screen. 3-2, the West Coast. Richmond 3-6, 4 points the difference, but as I said, they need more than that. As out on the half back line is Miles receiving onto the left foot. Former Collingwood man, of course, Miles. The mark has been taken by Michael Thompson, who's crossed over to Richmond this year from the Essendon club. A long kick call. The mark was actually dropped there by Ischenko. A bad miss. It's grabbed by Waitman. Waitman on the left foot. Now it's rolling. Now, which way will it bounce? It bounces through for another behind. So valuable minutes are ticking away in this first quarter. The West Coast Eagles 3-2, trailing Richmond 3-7.
Miles comes in with a short pass, finds Pios. Pios over the top, Zanotti. Zanotti around the outer side. It bounces obligingly out there to be taken by Malaxis. Malaxis goes out towards White centre wing, and Laidley takes the mark on his chest. 5 points Richmond's way. Just over 20 minutes gone. Ball around the outer side. The leaper out there, Glendinning, couldn't take the mark. Crashing into the pack was Palm. Knocks it out to accommodate Piatt. His hand pass is knocked down. Sliding in number 23, Poole. In the midst of all of that is Laidley. And the umpires decided to ball it up. Barrich emerges last. He's got the football. That's what it's all about. Bounce on the outer side. Lee opposed to Ischenko. Lee gets it down, trying to crash his way through his Poole. Poole gets a deflection across to Egan. Egan hooks it around the outer side. Zanotti knocks it forward, taken by the brilliance of Rioli. Rioli goes over the top. Chance now for James. James gets the hand pass back to support Mitchell. He's storming into goal. Mitchell, he puts it through from point blank range.
Well, there's the result of a Mitchell goal. A boos from the crowd, and I'm sure it's not worrying Michael Mitchell. But when Wilson did gain possession earlier, he got booed, and so too. And look at the speed there of Mitchell. No mistake about that. A good hand pass coming across from Stephen James, and so that'll give Mitchell a lot of confidence.
Well, I think I said at the start of the game, Bob, I wonder how the crowd would react. That certainly gave us some sort of indication as we see Richmond leading by 11 points at almost the 22-minute mark of this first quarter. Now, Tony Jewell would certainly want them to get a couple of quick ones. That was Malaxos marking from a near. Now, Malaxos, let's see if the Eagles can get it up there. Their forward line has been very open so far. There's the kick, or the mark will be taken too. It's been taken up there. That looks like Holmes taking that mark.
Cowie looking for a free kick.
Yes, and
been a busy player so far, Holmes.
He has, with the helmet. A bit of courageous play earlier in the quarter out here in front of us, and this won't be an easy shot, although he is on the correct side of the ground. Ball should swing on the screen from left to right if he gets onto it. Now, he kicked it very much left. Now, did it come back enough? No, it was just the wrong side of the post. Would have been a very handy one, that one, to the Eagles, but still 3-3 West Coast Eagles to Richmond 4-7, 10 points the difference. Very noticeable early in this game that the Eagles been able to get the loose man going from the centre line up, and if they get their run on game going, Richmond will be in all sorts of trouble. Michael Thompson on screen, bringing it out towards the half back line. Peter Wilson went for the mark. It's grabbed by Trevor Poole. A hand pass over the top. Well, trying to get away with the football there on that occasion was Des Ryan.
Great tackle by Laidley.
Well, Des Ryan had a very inauspicious baptism into football at full-back against the Sydney Swans last year. He had 10 goals kicked on him by Warwick Kappa.
You remember it. Ball on centre wing then, a chance for Dwayne Lamb, but Mitchell was taken high and he'll get the free kick. 10 points the difference. Richmond lead. The sun has gone behind a cloud at the moment as the long kick goes into half forward. Brennan the leaper down there, fisting away. Ischenko, clever deflection, gets the ball down to Zanotti. Zanotti, a hand pass across to Renstead. He's at left half back. He chips it out wide. Malaxis with room to operate in now, goes down towards left half forward with a high kick. Pools in front of Laidley down there. Strong mark. He's going to get the free kick in any case. Wilson wants to go. The umpire is bringing the ball back. And still the ground continues to fill. Trevor Poole, right half back, kicking in towards centre field. Zanotti under the ball. Coming to meet it down there was Piatt. It takes a West Coast Eagles bounce, gathered by Glendinning. Fires it back towards half forward. Two Eagles out on their own there. The mark is taken by Keane. Keane midway between the line of the centre square and the 50-metre line. Runs around the man on the mark. He'll go close from here, Laurie Keane. On the run, he's a pretty good shot. No, he pulls it too far right. And through it goes for a behind. So the Eagles are 3 goals 4 and Richmond are 4 goals 7.
A very clever piece of play that by Keane.
A great start so far by the Eagles. It's their use of the ball that has been excellent so far.
Cowie and Keane getting involved there. This is Rioli in centre field. Magic kicking towards half forward. Great vision. He saw a man on the move. That was James. Couldn't quite spot the ball, but James wins it on the ground. He goes looking for Egan. It's knocked away by Brennan. Brennan storming down towards centre wing. Needs a shepherd. Winstead puts his body in. There goes kick from Brennan. Ill-directed towards half forward. It's taken by Wilson. Shrugs a tackle from the oncoming Holmes and boots it back towards half forward. The half volley pitches awkwardly. It goes by Clark. Knock on by Piatt. Now a chance for Egan. Deep in the right full forward pocket. Egan. He pulls it back. That is a magnificent attempt. He's put it through for a goal for Richmond.
That's what he had to kick that because he had a teammate in the goal square calling for it. Maybe Egan wasn't to know. Was on replay. Wilson puts the ball forward. Clark overruns the ball, coming through. A good knock on that time by Piatt, and now Egan had the quick look and a lovely snap, a beautiful snap through for a great goal. Philip Egan.
Almost 26 minutes gone in this first quarter. A couple of handy goals towards the end of this quarter by Richmond. They needed them because the West Coast Eagles had done particularly well into the breeze. 3-4, plays 5-7. I don't know whether that's a big enough lead. All the same. Soon find out during the second quarter if the Eagles can get their flow-on game going. There's Dwayne Lamb on the left foot. Out there to Renstead. He was tackled hard. Narkle. Play on, said the umpire. Good umpiring by Shane McDonald.
You didn't think Narkle was held?
No, I thought he was staging for a free kick and hanging over the ball on that occasion, Bob, and had a good view of that. Shane McDonald. Ischenko knocks it on. Renstead has it knocked away by Bauer. Oh, Wally Matera. Oh, gee, Lee had the flying kick there. Oh, an easy mark dropped up there by McNeish. Holmes, oh, lovely hand pass to Narkle. The two helmeted players combining. Back it comes to Barrage. Now it's Malaxos. Oh, what a good handball that was to McNeish. He straightens up on the left foot. He has a putt shot. Probably should have kept going on the right. Ducked back onto the left and put it out of bounds on the full.
Now it was touched, I think, so there'll be a throw-in, Pete.
There's Cowie down there. Marking Keane. Andrew McNeish. Under real pressure getting that kick away from Subiaco. Unheralded when he arrived on the league scene here. Developed into a fine player. Working at the base of that pack is Holmes, and there's going to be a bounce about 20 metres out from goal. And Richmond 5-7-37. The West Coast Eagles at 3-4-22. Approaching 28 minutes in this first term. Clean possession to Richmond down there. Wilson dragged off the ball. It's jarred free. Poole goes looking for the boundary line and finds it. Thompson leads the race. John Anea thinks the umpire perhaps could have taken a harder line there. Cushion built in for the Richmond defender. Cowie from behind. They fought a draw. Socket off the ground by Eustace. Back towards centre field. The Eagles lead in all directions to the ball. It's taken by Renstead. Over the top he goes. A chance now for Dwayne Lamb. Tried to get back on his left foot before he had the ball. Picked up brilliantly by Mitchell. Dragged off the hand pass. Matera. Touch of brilliance. A touch of elegance. He went in and won that ball. Swings it high down towards the half-forward line. Only gained about 20 metres, but Malaxos, a courageous mark in front.
An excellent mark by Steve Malaxos. Stood his ground well in front, and it was about 45 metres out, and it was an excellent shot as we saw Malaxos show great courage.
Steve Malaxos probably too far out. Now, if they could get the little chip pass in here close to goal, it would be very handy. There it is. Yes, that is intelligent football by Malaxos. Bad checking by the Richmond side, Bob.
Well, again, we still see Narkle going down the ground, and I'm sure Holmes wasn't even worried about Narkle, because from 30 metres out, Holmes should have the shot, and even with the breeze, as Keane and Cowie have a little bit of pushing and shoving in the goal square.
Well, here he is, Don Holmes. Oh, gee, he didn't allow for the breeze. He had to kick to that left-hand goalpost on that occasion, and a bad miss by Don Holmes. Would have been a very handy one getting close to the quarter-time siren. At the moment, it's 3-5 to 5-7, 2-2 the difference. A total of 14 points. Just over 29 minutes gone. Michael Thompson, the egg bomber, playing on. See many fullbacks doing that in modern day football, just touching it onto the boot and going off. Lee couldn't take the mark. There's Eustace with a hand pass. He was looking for Bow. I'm very impressed with Matera. And Nia. Oh, Barrage. Gee, he's a goer, and he got the free kick because he wanted the football there. He really went in hard after that one. He's looking for the short one. Centre of the ground. He brings it to the non-scoring flank. Oh, nearly a good mark to Bennett. Scrapped by Eustace. Mark Eustace on the left foot, bring it back towards the wing. A one-out duel. Pios over the back. Can he recover? Tommy's still running around without that boot on. He gets it back to
Lost it again, I think, Bert.
Redstead towards Malaxos. Now, that might have been out of bounds on the full. It was on half-back flank for Richmond.
Yes, he has lost it again.
Richmond free on the outer side then. This is Poole from half-back, driving towards half-forward. Ball on the breeze. Glendinning gets a fist in there. It's taken away by Renstead. He's at right centre wing. He chips it in short. Awkward half volley for Laidley. Can't control it. The ball close to the boundary line as the siren sounds for quarter time. And at quarter time, Richmond lead 5-7 to the Eagles 3-5.
Still an excellent quarter of football there by the Eagles. I felt that while to only be 14 points down into this breeze, I would imagine that Ron Alexander would be reasonably happy, but I don't think that Tony Jewell would. They certainly didn't take advantage of the breeze. They lacked marking power up forward, for that matter, all over the ground. But the looseness in checking of the Eagles once the Eagles gained possession left a lot to be desired. And so I think they're a little bit lucky to be 14 points up, Pete.
Well, a lot of those medium-sized players for the West Coast Eagles are causing a lot of problems. Malaxos started to come into the game there, and I'm very impressed with Murray Renstead, number 32. He's one who looks to be one of those typical skilled players from the West who are around about the centre of the ground. They just get where the ball is, and he's getting a number of possessions there towards the centre. Pios was doing well on the half flank, but generally a very good quarter by the Eagles, and Richmond will have to be at their top in the next quarter if they're to stay in this game.
14 points the margin. We'll be back shortly. Margin 5-7-37 the Richmond Tigers, the West Coast Eagles 3-5-23. Checking the goal scorers, firstly for Richmond, singles all to Mitchell, Egan, Clark, Rioli and Zakaski, and for the Eagles, Matera, McNish and Keane. Okay, what about your thoughts today then, Peter McKenna?
Well, I think that as we said towards the end of that first quarter, Dennis, that it's a very, very big advantage to be kicking with that easterly breeze. And I thought that the Eagles did very well in that quarter. I thought that Richmond squandered a number of opportunities. Bob mentioned about their lack of marking power. Without Roach up there as a focal point, Stephen James couldn't get into the game. I think they'll probably consider bringing Michael Pickering on, who is a very good overhead mark in this quarter, because they need someone up there to take a mark. But I thought that Pios was outstanding on that half-back line. He had 10 kicks for the quarter and 5 marks. Well, what an outstanding effort that is.
The two huddles then. Ken McCauley has been doing a little eavesdropping. He's got, I think, allegiances to both sides.
Certainly wasn't happy about me being around his camp, but before he told me where to go in no uncertain manner, He made it very clear to his players that he was happy with their endeavour, but he felt that they were a little bit wasteful. That scoreboard reading 5 goals 7 didn't really please him. He thought they should have got better value for money. But Ron Alexander has made it very clear to his players that early goals in this quarter are vital. He's asked them to continually look for a switch in play, get the ball down to Laurie Keane, Darren Bennett as soon as possible. We're in for a great second quarter.
Well, if it makes you feel any better down there, Ken, let me assure you that Peter McKenna and Bob Skilton got barred from the Richmond rooms before the game as well.
And there was a man who could play, Ken McCauley.
Could he ever? I played on him.
That's one of the highlights of that first quarter, and what a knock that was by Holmes. A lot of courage, Holmes, Pete.
Yes, tremendous amount of courage. You saw a lovely goal there.
Back with play.
To Keane. There's the star of the first quarter, Bobby, and Paul Pios. He did particularly well. And good mark to also Neil Peart, but he hasn't done much because Glendinning has worn him like a glove.
I think there's not a Richmond forward that you could say is well on top. In fact, there's not too many Richmond players that you would consider to be dominating so far. And not in the manner that, as you called, Pios. And around the ground, I feel that Eustace has done a pretty fair job against Ania. He's gone everywhere the Ania has gone. And stats so far, we see the Eagles with 55 kicks compared to the Tigers 37. Handballs 22 to the Tigers have got 28. And not really effective handballs, many of those. But look at the marks. 24 to the Eagles, 10 to the Tigers.
Start of the second quarter then. 5-7, 3-5. Temperature in the mid-20s here at the Subiaco Oval. Season's opener, Mark Lee, clean possession. An early goal would be handy for Richmond as he fires it down to half forward. Miles the leaper over the top of James to fist away. It's gathered by Glendinning, gets it across to Zanotti. Zanotti a hand pass and turn to Ashenko. Ashenko to the run of Holmes. Holmes out wide towards left half forward. Malaxis drifting into open space. A bit too much foot speed that time for Thompson. Running down towards the pocket goes Narkle, directing traffic as he went, and he takes the mark in the left full forward pocket.
That was on all the way down the ground, Pete. You could see Narkle taking off from the wing, and again poor checking.
Well, this is the danger that I can see. I had the feeling towards the end of that quarter that the Eagles are about to run over the top of them as we see that kick for goal, and that is a beautiful kick. And that loose checking has cost Richmond a goal, and a lovely goal to Phil Narkle.
And the crowd absolutely delighted, and I was amazed to think that Narkle could run from the wing, and a replay sees Malaxos take the mark, and at that stage Narkle was still back and was able to run on into position and no checking at all.
Well, Bobby, they've done that a lot so far in this match, and Tony Jewell will have to do something about that.
From the centre, Mark Lee gets the tap. It's taken by Renstead. The long kick out towards half forward flank. Awkward bounce. Poole having a little bit of trouble. Now he's able to steady. Poole goes short towards centre wing. Brendan Bauer's there, and he takes the mark just inside the boundary. Bauer. 29 points the Eagles, 37 points Richmond, and a big fellow there in Ashenko takes a strong mark. Alex Ashenko swings it wide towards half forward. Keane should have taken the mark, kicked off the ground by Cowie. Narkle first on the scene. Nice piece of shepherding there by Renstead. Good play by Narkle as he runs around, calls to his players to move. Narkle with a good piece of shepherding by Ashenko, puts a long kick down, taken out by Ryan. A good tackle by the little fellow Matera, and it's forced over the line. Excellent play that time by Wally Matera.
Well, he's been a very, very impressive player. He hasn't had a lot of possessions, as we see the score 4-5, plays 5-7, but Matera is a real little goer, and I saw your eyes light up, Bobby, when you saw that he's a typical little gutsy rover as the ball goes out of bounds on that half-forward flank. But you mentioned the shepherding before by Ischenko. Boy, did he put the Richmond guy out of business.
Throw in then on the 50-metre line out his side. It's one to the wide side of the pack there by Cowie, who went after the ball, upended Holmes. A hand pass comes out from Rioli. Bauer on the outer side needs a shepherd and got it from Rioli. He hooks it back towards centre wing. Ashenko kept his feet. Falling over was Lee. A chance now for the Eagles. Glendinning has dragged off the ball. This is Renstead. Emerges brilliantly from the pack and chips it across field. Matera. Too much carry though. And away they go. Down towards half forward goes the kick. Richmond repulsed though as Miles is in the way. Back towards centre field. Pios. Chief kick getter on the ground is dragged off it. No, he is held without it. He'll take the free kick.
Well, that was clever play by Pios. He knew he was about to be tackled. He deliberately didn't grab the ball.
So Pios puts the ball towards centre half forward, up high, but unable to take the mark was Wilson. Possibly a tackle too high to Narkle. This time the hand pass comes out. Once again to Renstead from Malaxos. Renstead steadies and it's right through the centre. Beautiful football for West Coast Eagles.
Yes, that was beautiful team play. 5-5 plays 5-7. Oh, they're in trouble now, Richmond, I would think. They're 2 points in front and the Eagles look good. But as you said, Bobby, what's this on replay as we see the ball thumped away. Good, strong play by Narkle. Now, what's his handball of Malax? Now, you'll see it now. Oh, lovely slick hand pass across and lovely play by Renstead, and he's a very balanced player.
Back in the centre, it's one forward by Ashenko. Coming through is Bauer, gets it across to Waitman. He's dragged off the hand pass. It spills in turn to Lee. Too high for Thompson at close quarters. The Eagles lead back in the race. Malaxis boots it further afield down to right half forward. Barrich has it. McNish is calling for it. He goes by hand instead across the top to Holmes. From 50 metres out, Don Holmes. I think he's missed to the near side. He has. As Pickering is preparing to come onto the ground. The Eagles are 5-6. Richmond are 5-7. And as we speak, still people filtering into the ground. In excess of 30,000 here now. As Burton comes grandstand side. Good kick. Lee going back. Couldn't take the mark. Intelligent play by Ashenko to fist it away. It's taken by Barrich on 50 metres. Back towards full foot. Bennett in best position to mark. Almost the one-hander. Taken off the ground there by Burton. The hand pass comes out to Rioli. Deep in his own defence, Rioli. Good pressure from Bennett. High kick. A real-aid free kick. Well, not for mine.
I think the kick might come back, I'd say. It'll be a tackle too high as he was kicking. So on replay we see that the tackle was too high.
I don't know about that, Bob. Do you reckon?
Well, if you grab him by the shoulder, it's too high.
I thought he had him by the jumper, but still, it's a free kick, nevertheless, to Morris Rioli, and they need him really firing.
Rioli goes short, finds Ryan, he plays on, comes across towards centre half back, hooks it towards the centre, and Palm takes the mark. So David Palm held by Narkle. Now the hand pass taken by Poole from the centre of the ground. Poole swings the ball wide. Pios taps the ball down. Sakaski's there, held by Pios. It's tapped out, taken by Waitman. He was tackled too high. Called play on as it's kicked off the ground by Anea. Then Anea cannot get the hand pass clear. Waitman picks up the loose ball. Nice shepherding. Waitman swings it across towards centre half forward. It'll be a kick downfield as Waitman was dropped by Pios after he got rid of the ball. And Philip Egan will take the kick at centre half forward, about 35 metres out. But with this breeze, it's still not easy to kick them.
Well, there was a late tackle by Paul Pios, resulted in that kick, and you can't afford that, particularly if it's close to goal.
Egan from directly in front swings away with the breeze though, and 1 point on the board. Well, we saw Don Holmes with two similar shots in that first term, and the results were the same.
As the kick into the outer side, Ashenko goes across, couldn't take the mark. Egan leads in the race. Notty got there, but the boundary line was too near, so we'll have a throw in.
A good duel there, Dennis, between the two big fellows, Lee and Ashenko.
They've been going at it all day. 2 points the difference, 6.5 minutes played, second term. Lee flicks it backward of the pack. Rioli couldn't hang on. Picked up by Eustace. Eustace swings it out wide, very wide. It bounces just inside the field of play. Taken by Brennan, who goes across the boundary line with the ball. That's Clark. Throw in inside 50 metres. Clark doing the ruck work opposed to Ashenko. Quick kick out of the pack for the Richmond side towards centre half forward. That was from Eustace. Coming across the ground was Pios. He goes to ground under a tackle. Battling hard in there is Egan. He emerges with the ball. Hand passes only as far as Brennan. Brennan boots it back towards centre field. Takes a West Coast bounce off the hands of Laidley to Holmes. Holmes goes short to McNish. This should be a goal. McNish running in towards goal. He's 25 metres out. They've got 3 on 2. Bennett gets it across to Keane. Now Keane wants to go back against the flow. Hooks it and hooks it truly. Well, they made hard work of it. They had 3 on 2 for what seemed an eternity, but they finish it off with a goal, and the Eagles are in front.
Yes, as you said, Dennis, 6-6 to 5-8. They're in front by 4 points, and they did make hard work of that one. McNish tried to draw out his opponent. There's Holmes on the left foot. Bring it down. Now, McNish could have straightened up and tried to draw his opponent out. Then he had to give a hand pass across to Bennett. Back it came. Dave. Oh, cleverly done. He's got a lot of agility for a big fella. Keane, he put it through for his second goal.
It was good work, though, by the Eagles, and they really broke up the defence of the Tigers. Centre bounce. 42-38. 4 points in favour of the Eagles. Lee gets the tap. Not to anybody in particular. Hand pass from Matera was smothered. And so we'll find the umpire coming in to bounce the ball. Umpire Shane McDonald. Right in the centre. Lee gets the backhander. It's taken by Matera. A high kick towards half forward. Wilson at the back, the favourite. And has been paid the mark. Actually lost it as he hit the ground. So Wilson now. Burton was trying to get the ball moving quickly by giving it to Wilson, but he was not back behind the mark. And again, it's play on as Wilson gives it across to Cowie. Cowie to centre wing. Sakaski takes the mark. So Peter Sakaski, he too wanting to play on. Puts himself under a bit of pressure though, and now able to drive the ball long towards centre half forward. Miles was there, almost took the mark. No mark paid, but he has been paid the free kick. So it's Jeff Miles. Miles last year with Claremont, the year before with Collingwood. And so Andrew McNish again loose checking by the Tigers as McNish floats the ball forward. Still covers plenty of distance with this breeze. Cowie can't take the mark. Burton's there in the back pocket. Puts it out wide towards the half-back flank. An awkward bounce for Bauer. Narkle comes in as Hellwood not in position. Narkle tries to get the ball forward. Does so to Keane. Keane swings it up towards the forward area. Two Richmond players collide in the form of Thompson and Ryan. And the ball goes over the boundary line and will be thrown in about 25 metres around forward in the forward pocket.
Tony Gill not looking too happy with some of that defensive work. It was a bit slipshod as Cowie tries to knock it away from Keane. Keane, though, scrambles a kick out of the pack. It's picked up by Poole. Poole over the top to Thompson. He's too slow. Claimed by Laidley and manages to scramble it out of bounds with his left boot. Alexander on the phone.
Well, I think the Eagles are putting Richmond under far more pressure than Richmond are doing at the opposite end of the ground. And, well, it's a vital stage of the game right now.
Forward of the pack. It's taken by Richmond. This is Mitchell. Mitchell driving around the outer side. Lee in best position to mark. Schenko over the top. Couldn't hang on. The two big fellows battle after the ball. Lee somehow gets it out the back. Taken by Pickering. The hand pass out wide. Peart's got the run of it now. He goes across centre. No support. Goes long with a hand pass intended for Pickering. He collides with Lamb. Lamb gets it across to Renstead. Renstead the hand pass over the top. Richmond in best position. Eustace goes down as he collided there with Rioli. Finishes up astride the ball and the umpire's going to bounce it down. On the line of the square, the attacking side of centre for Richmond, working up into this breeze. As young Lewis is about to come onto the ground for the Eagles. Big roar goes up. Very popular young man. He's going to be an outstanding player. Meantime, Egan gets a free kick in the centre square.
So Philip Egan goes for the long kick. A nice kick into the breeze. Dropping short. Couldn't be taken down there by Brennan. Zanotti taps the ball forward. Goes after it again. Good defensive work by Mark Zanotti as he kicks the ball off the ground. Over the boundary line it goes. Not on the full as the Lewis on the boundary line. The young 17-year-old. Formerly from Claremont. But back with play. Lee couldn't quite take it. Gets support though from Egan. The hand pass to Rioli. Rioli floats the ball across the centre. Poole coming down. Takes possession. Got rid of his opponent. A hand pass across to Eustace. Eustace straight down the ground. Looking for Clark. It's not Clark but Pickering who takes the mark. And Michael Pickering, the chance of having putting up his first goal for the match, having just come on the ground.
Well, I would never have him off the ground, Michael Pickering. I'm surprised he didn't start the game. Every time I've seen him play, he's a very dangerous player. Particularly, he's got great marking power, and with Roach out of the side, they need him up there to take those grabs.
Very poorly timed.
He won at quarter time.
Very poorly timed interchange from the Eagles too. Set up that goal on centre wing.
Shocking kick.
That was a bad miss by Michael Pickering. He is not a long kick, but he's normally fairly accurate from in close. But that win is difficult. You could see he was very close, only about 20 metres on that occasion. But his marking power, particularly when they kick with the breeze in the third quarter, will be a danger to the Eagles.
Well, Brennan to bring the ball back into play. It's a lovely kick from Brennan. Almost reaches the wing at the mark on the chest, taken there by Mark Eustace, who is playing a good game for the Tigers. Eustace. Glendenning in front. That's a lovely mark. Back into Pickering. Good leadership there as he got the hand pass across to Narkle. Narkle goes short. All on his own. Out wide, Zanotti. An awkward bounce, but well taken by Thompson. In front there of Malaxis. Thompson backs towards half forward, and this time Pickering out on his own. A quick hand pass, excellent play. Finds Egan. Egan puts it high and long. Clark, 1-2. Can't get the third grab. Subiaco gets the hand pass across, and Mitchell right from the square puts it through. A good goal and a bad goal to Richmond as they go to 6 goals, 9 with the Eagles on 6-6.
Well, once again, that was Pickering there, taking the mark, and a very, very slick hand pass he gave across and allowed the ball to get down to the forward line quickly. As you see here, Egan receiving the hand pass and kick it long. Clark almost took the mark. Then it was taken off the pack by Subiaco, and a lovely hand pass to Michael Mitchell, who ran in for a very, very easy goal for his second.
Pickering making a lot of difference on the forward line for Richmond. 3 points the difference then. Centre square infringement. Free kick will go the Eagles' way. Approaching 15 minutes of the term. John Anea has been pretty quiet so far in the game from the centre. Driving long towards half forward. Wilson should mark. Dropped it. Bennett couldn't hang on. Now a chance for Richmond to clear the zone as the hand pass comes from Thompson to the run of Wilson. We've seen this before on this ground as Wilson fires towards half forward. All Eagles at the fall of the ball. Glendinning, the skipper, gets in the road and takes the timely mark.
He must be in front into the breeze.
Beautiful use of the body with his experience there.
Pios has the ball at right half back, kicks across centre wing, didn't look, drifting back, should have been marked down there by Poole. He dropped it. McNish has a chance now, centering the ball. Some lax kicking all of a sudden. 4 occasions in succession where the team has simply surrendered the ball or gone very close. Wilson took that mark. He hand passes to Burton. Burton drives it towards left half forward. Subiaco stayed out of the contest. The leaper was Egan. Glendinning is claiming the mark. That's a little cheeky. Boots it back to half forward, and once more the ill-directed kick is taken by Thompson. Thompson at half-back wants to play on, kicks towards half-forward at the fall of the ball. The leaper down there was across the top. Miles gathering the ball lead to Waitman. Was he pushed in the back? Yes, he was. He'll get a free kick.
No play on. They've allowed the advantage rule. He had paid it as Lee gets it out to Eustace. Eustace floats it forward, but it's offline, and 1 point only the result. They had paid the free kick, but allowing the advantage rule, it went on, but a poor kick by Mark Eustace didn't bring the desired result for the Tigers. And it's 6-10, 46 points to 6-6, 42. Another nice kick from full-back. Almost well taken there by Holmes. Just lost it at the last minute. Picked up by Mitchell. Shows a good turn of speed. No one coming at him. He's had 2 bounces up to the 25-metre line. Goes towards goal, but offline and 1 point. Nobody running at him, so he was able to run about an extra 30 metres.
Gee, that blistering pace, 6'11", plays 6'6", but that blistering pace is certainly going to help him in league football, because one asset you need in modern day football is pace, and he's certainly got plenty of that, but he's probably running a little bit too fast then, Bob, and could have steadied a little bit more.
Well, Glendinning playing on from full-back, kicked it to himself, went on again. Zanotti and Subiaco, neither player could take it. Tackle possibly too high with Palm, but umpire Castle coming in to indicate that he will bounce the ball. No chance of Palm getting rid of it, and so the bounce will take place midway between centre wing and half forward flank for Richmond, members' side of the ground. Nashenko up high. Holmes offloaded. Forced forward by Palm, a chance for Waitman. Hand pass over the top from Waitman, finds Peart. Peart over the top again. Clark, a chance of a score. Well tackled by Brennan, and it's forced through for 1 point. Beautiful defence by Brennan.
Well, that was top play, as you said. 6'6" to 6'12". Michael Brennan, absolute desperation, saved a certain goal.
And a nice mark by Renstead. Renstead, long hand pass. Awkward bounce for Narkle. Wilson coming through, showing a lot of strength. Takes possession. Tackle a little bit high against Wilson, but he's able to tap the ball on. Rioli's there. His hand pass finds Waitman. Waitman threw the ball away. A good decision, and the free kick will go the way of Holmes.
Well, Dale Waitman tried to con the umpire there, but Ross Castle was equal to the occasion, then had a beautiful view of that and awarded the free kick to Holmes.
Holmes across the half-back line then. 6 points the difference. He drives towards centre wing. On a lead is Bennett through his fingertips. Leading back in the race is Glendinning. Sockers with the left boot. A fingertip from Matera was enough to deflect the ball wide of Burton. Hand pass into the path of Lewis. Lewis in turn gets it across to McNish, or is it Matera? Matera, either one of the two. And Matera goes in to kick the goal.
Well, that's Wally Matera's second goal, and scores at dead level. 7-6 plays 6-12, and once again that was that breakaway from the centre as the handball came out. Lewis, a beautiful hand pass further afield. It ended up with Matera and in for a very easy goal in the finish. But when they get that loose ball going and the loose man going, they look a very dangerous side.
Very interesting game of football this then. Scores level, approaching 19 minutes in the second term. Bounce in centre field. Lee and Ashenko. It favours Lee. He thumps it towards half forward. Taken by Zakaski. Kicks it around the corner. Rioli was up. Couldn't take the mark. Coming to meet him, Glendinning. Rioli goes back after the ball. Slaps it out wide of the pack. Zakaski elects to shepherd as the hand pass comes across from Pickering. A chance to work the ball forward. Down goes Palm. Trying to crash his way through as Waitman. It comes across to Rioli. And Rioli spears it through from 25 metres out. The seventh on the board for the Tigers.
2 goals to Maurice Rioli. He doesn't mess around. He has got that class, and 6 points the difference, of course, in favour of Richmond. Oh, that was good play. That was by, Michael Thompson. Rioli straightens up and slams it through, but some very, very strong play.
And we saw the skill of Maurice Rioli there as the Richmond cheer squad. It's a centre bounce. As the crowd keenly await the centre bounce. Ashenko against Lee. Ashenko gets the tap, taken by Holmes. Off the side of the boot, but still covers a reasonable amount of distance. Tap forward by Cowie. McNish is down there. The loose ball comes out to Lewis. Lewis puts it wide and taken by Narkle. Narkle, a hand pass over the top. Can McNish get there before the boundary? He cannot. And so a throw-in to take place about 15 metres around. Forward pocket for the West Coast Eagles, with the Eagles trailing 48-54, 20 minutes into the second term.
Egan coming off the ground, Bobby, and Stephen James coming on.
From the throw-in, Keane taps it down at the back. Picked up by Waitman, starting to come into the game. Waitman, not a good kick though. Narkle takes it, plays on. The kick from Narkle. Distance okay, accuracy not, and 1 point goes on the board. So it's 7-7, 49 to 7-12, 54.
I can't help thinking that the Eagles, certainly there's Phil Narkle on screen, but the Eagles have to get more out of Darren Bennett. He's not holding his marks, and if he fires, it'll certainly help them.
Burton playing on from fullback. Puts a long kick, and that's a lovely mark taken out there by Miles, I should say. So Jeff Miles. Miles, that's a nice looking kick up towards the square. Touched. Will McNish get to it? He does. Loses it. Still there with it though. Can't get it clear. Eventually Thompson of Richmond comes out with the ball. Good defensive work by Thompson as he puts the ball wide. Waitman leading in the race. Palm comes across in front of him though. A good piece of shepherding by Waitman allows Palm to just get clear. Barrett continuing to chase. Forced the poor kick. Pios and Zakaski. Zakaski was held, but held the ball as well. And so a bounce to take place on centre wing, members' side of the ground.
5 points the difference. 21.5 minutes gone, second quarter. The ruckman got a hand of that. Pios roving the pack. Kicks towards half forward. Bounce eludes Malaxis. And in turn Ryan. Brilliantly gathered by Lewis. Twisting and turning Lewis out of trouble. Goes square looking for Narkle. Too much weight on the kick. Bauer leads back in the race on the outer side. Narkle and Bauer going at it close to the boundary line. It spills out of bounds and we'll have a throw in.
Well, we saw the great skills there of Chris Lewis, and the crowd was excited when he went near the ball with his great ability.
Keane wins it down. Matera runs into a dead end. Malaxis goes in after the ball, and the umpire calls for another bounce. Fine term this by Richmond. Well, it's fair to say that breeze has fallen away considerably in this term. Bounce on the outer side. 5 points the margin. Cowie led assistance by Bauer, and the ball finds the boundary line. Adrian Barrage, as you can see, has taken a knock. He's not feeling too good at the moment in the Eagles dugout. Throw it on the outer side. Lee in front. Should have got a free kick. Sockers it off the ground. Back to his opposite number, Ashenko. Ashenko gets through the traffic, chips it in short, and Nia takes the mark. Still inside the centre square. Now he's away. Kicks down towards full forward. At the fall of the ball, it's all Richmond, and the juggled mark is taken down there by Wilson.
So Wilson, a hard tussle in there as Peart takes a nice mark, but a long way from centre half forward. Gives a hand pass across to the running Mitchell. Mitchell from centre wing. Nice looking kick. Clark tried to tap the ball on. Pickering wins possession. Well tackled though, and will be penalised accordingly. A great tackle there by Miles. And so Jeff Miles from half back. Not a lot of movement. He's played at a hectic pace so far, and I wouldn't be surprised if these players are starting to tire. Miles took a little too long, in my opinion, to get the ball moving forward. Wilson was up high at the back. Thompson well tackled. A loose ball comes out, and hand pass by James across to Poole. Poole floats a kick forward. Waitman couldn't take it. Was punched away by Lamb. Pushing the back must be paid, and so Laidley will be the recipient of that kick. Dean Laidley thought about the hand pass. Now licks to go on. The drop punt towards half forward. Bennett was up, couldn't take the mark. Lewis going after it. Taps the ball forward, now gathers it in. Goes with a little short kick to Matera. Matera will play on from the pocket. The left foot hooked. Hooked too far though. And only 1 point goes on the board to Wally Matera. And so was Richmond in last term, and in this term now the Eagles not making the best use of the breeze as we're almost 25 minutes into the term.
I think, Bobby, the fact that there's no dominant forward really taking over is making it hard for both sides to score goals.
Burton puts the ball back into play. Ryan's out there, takes the mark, did play on, tackled, got the hand pass in. Pickering's first on the scene, a quick hand pass, couldn't quite find Poole as he overruns the ball. It's over the boundary line and to throw in on centre wing. Play a little ship shot at the moment.